Hey you guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're doing my Hobart Hurricanes BBL SuperCoach preview for the 24-25 season, going through all of their players and sort of who I expect to get a game, who I think is of value, and so on, and then also showing you the predicted 11 that I have at the moment. They are one of the biggest squads at 18, well, effectively 17 because of Hussein's an NOC from his Bangladesh club, effectively. So they are 17 guys, so they will have 6 reserves, which pretty much means all their sort of value guys, I would say, are almost in the reserves. Plus, also they have a stuffed fixture, which basically means that you don't select any of them just because they're going to suck up cash when you can really use that cash on field and be getting points, whereas so unless someone else pops up here and gets onto their side like Chowdhury did last year, I don't expect much value to come of the Hobart Hurricanes early on. But anyway, let's jump into this video here. So for those watching on YouTube, you can obviously see that I am on the SuperCoach players filter, and I've filtered it towards the Hurricanes, and we'll just go through all of the players there sort of last couple seasons, etc., and then go and show you who I think is value. Shea Hope overseas 152 priced at, and 152k priced at 51 break even, and I believe he's missing opening round, I believe, due to the T20s that we have with a lot of the West Indies guys like Fabian Allen, etc. And that might put him over to missing round 2 as well, but it doesn't make much of a difference because he is 152k. And the Hurricanes have a shocking fixture. If we just quickly go this, and then BBL schedule, you'll see here, Hurricanes, we are now here. You'll see they have that round 8 double against the Heat and the Renegades. I feel like that's going to be very, very valuable in terms of, for those people pushing up, and you can barely see it on YouTube. Round 8, they have Renegades and Heat, then they have the Stars. So they have, to finish off the year, after round 5, they have Thunder, Renegades, Heat, Stars. That is a juicy schedule in my opinion, because I don't think the Thunder are going to be too classy this year, and I don't know about the Stars being too good as well, given that they probably will have some players leave. So I think getting someone like then again, I need to check like Chris Jordan's availability, because he might be gone by the time that this happens, which could open up to other all-rounders. But the same thought there is that I think there's going to be some players like Paddy Dooley, Nathan Ellis, and guys like that who will be extremely valuable in round 6, 7, 8, and 9 just because of the schedule there. So back to Shea Hope. I just don't know if he is, if I just go to, just have it here, okay, then I go to bookmarks, because we always go to bookmarks. That's some AFL related stuff. Then we go down to availability. So you have UAE, Evans, Ferguson, Rutherford, Hope. Hope leaves. Okay, and UAE, that impacts round 6, so Hope's probably going to have no relevance this year, just off of that, just looking at that. Hussein, we know, is already leaving because of the BPL, Bangladesh Premier League, so he's already gone, and then he goes straight to the UAE, I would sort of expect, so he probably won't play. I'm not sure if these are 100% confirmed. Chris Jordan as well, probably leaving after the BBL. But if the Hurricanes are horrific, that is one to watch when we get to round 6, which will be in the sort of January 10th region, I would sort of expect. That's one to watch if they do leave then, because they could leave when their team's just gone and out of it, and Hurricanes have been sort of that side for the last couple of years. So Hope's probably going to have no relevance, and Jordan may have no relevance. Hatzoglu will probably also potentially leave early as well, so that could open it up for guys like Owen, Stanlake, and stuff like that you'll see in the reserves. So watch the reserves when I bring up the projected 11 again in another 10 minutes or so. Matty Wade, I think the Insight Fantasy did a really good sort of explanation on Matty Wade. And the reason why, I just think he's pretty much full price, and also he's had health issues in the past with a crook back, and you can just see he's pretty much always, he's going to give you a good 40, so if you wanted probably a keeper in the last half of the year to in round sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, if he was on form with the bat, then you probably go with him. But I'm just too worried that his back just gives way and he's out injured, which is just, especially with them having a double, etc. I'm just too worried about that. Chris Jordan is the guy that we go for every time that they have a double, but like I just showed you with that, with this, he could be leaving. This is a sort of up and down sort of thing, so you definitely going to have to keep up to date with this, which is something that I'm sure all content creators are going to keep you guys up to date as much as we can, as much as the knowledge that we do have. So yeah, I do also need to put up sort of pinned comments on some of the past previews about some other things that have propped up in the last couple of days, so I'll do that today. But Chris Jordan, I think, is a guy that if he's there, automatic pickup. If he's not there, obviously you go and look at someone else. Chowdhury, he's probably going to be one of the guys that we also look at depending on price. 142k, 142.8k for Chowdhury, and as forgot to mention, 147.7k for Jordan. So Chowdhury burst onto the scene last year, and he was probably one of the reasons why I didn't end up winning it, just because I didn't have Chowdhury, and that 100k that a lot of people got out of Chowdhury is what kind of killed me off, I would say, a little bit. So that's why I've kind of set up a little bit my team to be able to take on these opportunities of guys like Chowdhury that pop up, these guys that are sort of min price or whatever, that get a game early, hit the ground running, because Chowdhury hit the ground running in round 2, and I was already sort of focused on just getting in all of the players on the double, whereas I needed to just probably be selecting a couple of these single guys because they're gonna they go up in price. Like if we look at him, and I did this sort of review with someone else, I think it was Scooby, with regards to Sam Harper and how they gain cash. Look at this. So started here, DMP in round 1, and then round 2 against Perth, 12k here, 9k, 16k, 17k, 16k, and he wasn't scoring outlandish totals. And then on the double, he just went bang, and that's what it was. But yeah, you can just see, if he gets off to a good start and scores like a 50 very early on, you make mass cash gen, and he gets that break even, I'm guessing, below 0. But yeah, so that's sort of the thought with Chowdhury when he was very, very cheap. So all these sort of like 39 and 58k guys, that's sort of the thought around it. Chowdhury, back to him himself, I think he's only going to be valuable if Chris Jordan probably leaves, I would say. And then you've got McDermott. Probably depends on form, obviously. Probably won't be keeping as well, so I sort of don't expect him to be that valuable, to be honest. Mac Wright probably doesn't even get a game. I don't know exactly. Him or Wakeham is probably that sort of slot at the moment, getting games before Hope comes back. But he could be, but at 126k and only batter only, probably a no-go. Then we have the likes of Nathan Ellis here, and he's a guy that if it was them having a better fixture, much to the same of like we talk about, like I put up the poll with regards to, if I just actually bring it up here quickly, I should probably actually just bookmark it. But if we go here, you'll see this. Here, you'll see, if this will load, 16 votes now, but this sort of poll around the Renegades and Thornton, all these guys, I think if they had a better fixture, they would be exactly in this same scenario here. Would Ellis and other guys like Dooley, etc., be in this scenario there? Go back to here, where you're sort of picking between those sort of 100k guys that are probably historically undervalued by about 15 to 20 points. And I think that's what Nathan Ellis is. If we look at his summary, 38 last year, the year before that, 49, so plus 11. Year before that, so it was plus 11 and plus another, 38. So 38.1, and then up to 53.9, so that's a plus 15. The year before that, 50, so that's a plus 12. And the year before that, 39.5. So I think he's a guy that will go back up to a 50 or so scorer. But he just sucks that he doesn't have the schedule to do it, because he would probably be there instead of a Fergus O'Neill if they had a good schedule. So I'm hoping that they do next year. Paddy Dooley, another guy that you could potentially even run off the bench. Honestly, he's a guy that I've actually haven't thought about it doing this, but the thing is, he was just a one season. It feels weird to say this, but he was almost a one season wonder. So you're just wondering is he actually going to return back to his best or whatnot? And so it'll probably take a deeper dive to do this, to look at his stats last year. He took 6 wickets last year, whereas the year before that, he took 19. And the year before that, he played 1 game and just got an economy rate bonus. I'd have to look at his actual stats rather than his just fancy related stats. But I have a feeling he could be in for a bounce back year, to be honest with you. So I'm intrigued about Paddy Dooley. He's probably one on the watch list. Hussain, skip over. He didn't get released by his Bangladesh Premier League club. Riley Meredith, another guy at, 80k or so, priced at 83.4, 28 average. If we go back years before that, plus 17, plus 16, plus, 14, plus 36, plus whatever. So he's a guy that I'm actually intrigued about if I can fit him in on the single, because much like I've looked at like Hamish McKenzie and guys like that, if I can just have him just on the back burner making cash, I'd probably want to do that. Just have one guy that's just sort of a cash generator that I know that I want to stick with, because one of Paddy, I'm going to say this and it could be wrong, but I have a massive suspicion that one of Meredith or Dooley will be in the top 10 bowlers of the year. And if you can just stash them away at 80k is like Marcus Stoinis level. Like, instead of getting Marcus Stoinis, can you just put Riley Meredith just on the back burner, just in your bowlers or your flex position, and just every week he just becomes so that's, and every week he just is either in the flex position or your your bowler 6, which is your first bowler off the bench, and just flick between those two until he comes on to the double, and suddenly you have a guy on the double that's like 140k or so. Because if we look back, does he have any other dud seasons that I can just sort of show you how they run? It's probably Paddy Dooley that I actually want to show you this off of in his 2022-23 campaign and his cash gen there, and show you that. So if you look at 2022-23, you'll see he started out at 62.5, then he went 70, 103 because he absolutely smashed it, 31, 27. So you see that massive cash gen there. I don't know if he was necessarily on the doubles, but can you get something similar to this where you just had him sitting there on the bench and making like 80k, just sitting there on the bench, maybe in the flex position, etc., rather than trying to go for an extra stars there, and then suddenly in like round 6 or 7, you just have that extra 70k out of that guy, rather than trying to get these guys on the doubles that are in sort of eky roles. And I say that like more guys that are maybe batting 5, bowling 2 overs, rather than just getting the frontline pacer from like Meredith or Dooley, who are going to play. So that's sort of why I'm more intrigued about this. Hatzoglu, I don't like because he's probably going off and away. And if I just go to also back to the bookmarks, I just want to also just quickly check with so Hatzoglu. So Dooley's not going, is he? And is Meredith going? Is Meredith going at any time? Doesn't look like Meredith is going. So I'm actually intrigued about Meredith now a little bit more after doing this review. Tim David, Jewel, these guys, Tim David batting 5, might get an over on 2. Don't think he will do too much. I think he's in and around that average at the moment, unless he gets more overs in the opening game, and then you start to think maybe he's a cash generator, because he could do that. Much to the same thought of Meredith and also Dooley. Owen Stanley, Carlisle, and Doran. We saw that yesterday, actually, Harper did really, really well in the one-dayer, or it was effectively a T20 against WA. He scored like 60 off about 50 odd or so, and so that would have been like 70 points. I just want to double check. Let's actually do this together. Whether and you'll see exactly. Oh, we have a T20 tonight. Sweet. And let's go to completed because it was yesterday. Where is it? Here we go. And then you've got here, so I just want to check any catches for Harper. A catch and a stumping, if I'm right in saying this, if we just go to the help page. I just want to check all the stats, etc. Back to help and game info. Point scoring, and what is the stumping worth again? Where is it? Stumping is worth 15 points. So 15 plus a catch, 25. So we got 25 with the gloves, plus also 59 with the bat, and no strike rate bonus, plus also 10 for getting the 50. So that is 35 points plus 59 is a 94 he would have scored in a 23 over game. And obviously in a T20 he's probably going to score quicker than that. And also if Victoria knew how to stay at the crease, he probably would have scored more than that. So yeah, so that's why it's very valuable for these guys that are like 58k. And back to Doran, that's why I want Harper starting and not Doran, is because basically Harper could get up to 100k and then just go down to Doran in the all singles game, and then suddenly you've just freed up 60k. So that's the whole process with Doran. Wakeham, I think, could get a start. And then we just go here quickly to the Hobart Hurricanes and their predicted 11. As you see here, I've got it all here, and you can, when I do release this, and I do also plan, as I would have said, you would have seen me say last night on Twitter, is that the plan is to have a master sheet with all the players and all their rounds. So what I'm saying is basically, if I just actually do it right now, master players sheet. Let's just do this. Players, all players. There we go. And then I'll just put that, say there. And then this will have all of the players from all of these. And then it will have their, it'll basically have what I've got for this here. If I just make this a little bit smaller, it'll have all these like projected. It will have their score from round 1 projected, their projections, and then it will have their price change. And then it will go that, and then it will do round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, etc. for all the players. Yes, it will be a lot of work in the actual in-between rounds, but it will give you a lot of information about it, and that will be able to basically keep that running, and that will help all you guys out, because then it will also make this a lot easier, because then I can just go player, I can just put the type of name in here, and then these will all be VLOOKUPs, etc, etc. But anyway, let's get back to this quickly. Wade, Jewell opening. I have Jewell opening rather than McDermott, just because I think Jewell's a better opener than McDermott. McDermott is probably a better 3 than Jewell, so I think he can open there, and they can open about 3 respectively. I have Wakeham here just because if you look here, you could probably put right here, honestly, but maybe this is just a little bit of a hoping that Wakeham opens the bats 4, so that he can get some time there. David batting 5, sort of self-explanatory. Chowdhury is going to bat 6 in this, sounds about right. And then Jordan, Ellis, Dooley, Hatzoglu, and then Meredith 11. That just seems very right. You have Doran, who is about the 4th keeper. Hope comes in for Mac Wright in round 2 or whenever he's back, simple as that. Wakeham, Stanlake, Owen could be a sneaky chance if Jordan goes off early or something like that. That could open up him to play. Stanlake could play instead of Meredith if Meredith breaks down or something like that, which could happen as well. So yeah, that's a watch there. So yeah, I think that's a pretty self-explanatory starting 11 there anyway. And on the bench, you have all these guys. And I've just I'll put a line through Hussein because he's not going to come across because he wasn't released, as we said earlier. But anyway, I think that's a good way to end the BBL preview for the Hobart Hurricanes for the 2024-2025 SuperCoach season. If you did watch on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. And for those listening along on Spotify, just give me a follow so that you know when I upload there. So I'll see you guys in the next recap, which will also be in about an hour's time for the Melbourne Renegades. See you guys then. Bye, guys.